At this hour, the streets are once again busy with people heading home after a hard day's work. Little bustle matters to them as they step out the crowd and walk away, however. Ash especially. There's only his goal in his mind, and I wager there's nothing I can do to stop him at this point. He's probably decided on it long before they made the decision to drop by. But despite this, Isabel lags behind. A worried sees is back on her forehead as she watches Ash leave to get his car.
Something wrong, Bella?
No, actually, can you check on Becca for me after this? I really didn't get the chance to tell her where I'm headed off to. Tell her I'm okay, and No, just that. That's all.
You sure I should skip on that part? If she finds out about this, she'll be angry. I don't really want to deal with angry Rebecca. It gives me a stomachache just thinking about it.
Neither do I, but I'll handle it if she gets mad. Just make sure she's safe and tell her to be careful. You too. Take care of yourself.
As reckless she pauses, the gaze in her eyes hardening as she lapses into another one of those long, distant silences from earlier. This ain't just because of the whole flash go with the leather anymore.
I don't want what happened to Rose to happen to you guys as well.
This one cut deeper. Fork asks about Aston returns, casually swinging his car keys on one hand and gestures at
Come
Bella.
on, we don't have much time. Shirley's waiting.
Who's sure? Oh, right. Don't answer that. I don't want to hear it, you huge dork.
Says the person who gave her stuffed toys names. Batcat? Really?
It's cute. Yours is just weird. I'll see you later, Zach.
She spares me another smile, and as I watch her walk off, only now did it occur to me that none of those she gave today ever did reach her eyes. I make a grab for the back of Ash's parka and staggers briefly before correcting himself and shooting me confused
Is she all right?
stare.
What? Who's okay?
Isabella. She's been, I don't know, out of it today? Did something happen earlier?
The scowl on his face as well.
She's actually been like that this morning. I'll ask, but...
Just do me a favor and watch over her. We have no idea what we're dealing with. I don't know what happened to her since the last time I saw her. But from how she's been doing today, whatever it is, seems like a pretty big deal. Wait, you didn't annoy her again, did you? Because I swear to God, if you did, you've got another thing coming for you.
What? No. Why would I?
I'm just asking. I'll take your word for it. But if you can find out what's bothering her, that'd be nice. Honestly, I don't think it's the letter this time.
I'll see what I can do.
Make sure you keep yourself out of harm's way, alright?
Yeah, you too. Don't do anything reckless again.
No, but I can't make you to promise I won't do anything. After seeing that,
What's
there's
up,
no
Blood
way in
Dragon?
hell I'm going to pretend there ain't a problem when there is. This is a really big one, and I'll be damned if I let anything happen to you guys while I sit here.
You got this. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm done running when things get tough.
It's a bit to argue for a moment, but
Look, bro, if things ain't good, I'll be the first one out. But allow me this one thing, alright? Just this one time.
you're chilling with you. I'm chilling myself. Thank you.
If it doesn't work out, you'll be the first one to know. You can laugh then, or berate me all you
It's
want.
appreciated.
But please don't ask me to step aside like I'm incapable of doing anything to help.
I have no idea if it is the look on my face or the tone of my voice. Ultimately, although his mouth presses into a thin line, he nods.
All right. Stay safe, Zach.
Good, no problem. When he stumbles into the sidewalk and allows the afternoon crowd to swallow him whole, I like to think the tiny gleam in his eyes is the closest we can get to optimism in the situation. Whether that alone would be enough to give me a peaceful sleep tonight remains to be said. Night falls, and despite my best attempt, sleep continues to elude me. With her image still stuck in my head, flashes every few moments it catches me off guard, with Ma's lullaby still echoing in my ears, no longer the soft tune it once was. And a terrible gnawing at the pit of my stomach. It's no wonder I can't bring myself to drift off even for a little while. It is not as if there is a complete lack of things to do while waiting for sleep to come, if it ever will. And at 2:45 in the morning, I found myself cleaning my photography equipment for no other reason than just to pass time. Though, if I am to be honest, it is not the night terrors that are keeping me wide awake tonight, but the anxiety and the hope I hear from Ash or Isabel soon. And for what happens the 42nd time, my eyes shift over to the end of the table where my phone lies still. I've not heard from them since they left. They haven't promised to call, of course, but a small part of me wishes they would have the common sense at the very least. Wording is a tough game, and with the concern stretching out the minutes far longer than usual, it's possible for more unpleasant thoughts not to enter my mind. Moreover, it does not help that when the clock finally strikes 3, my hand stills. It'll be a complete and utter lie to say my heart didn't leap straight to my throat in that brief second. Look at her, bro. My whole body hangs down motionless, ears straining for any further sounds. A couple of tense seconds pass. Nothing. Of course, with how old the building I'm staying in and powerful locations ain't anything new. Every now and then this would happen, leaving a few attendants in a rather bad mood. Nothing unusual anymore after a few years of living here. But this time, the sudden hush brings with it a stillness that rings the hair at the back of my neck. Hello, Queen Ginger. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Smitty. I set my heart beating hard against my chest. Something reeks in the air, and in an instant, this place is no longer home. It's a prison. Every irritation, fiber in my being screams at me to leave. I force myself to swallow and keep a clear head as I lay down all my cleaning tools and begin gathering together the rest of my things gathered about on the table. Camera's body lenses, flutters, diffuser phone, anything my hand could reach, but in the resulting panic like a nightmare, it is the scent that reaches me first. A foul putrid smell. Filling my lungs was the heavy stench of death. My fingers clamped tightly to the camera, holding it closer to my body, as if the tiny thing would provide enough protection to whatever it is with me in the room. It won't. It's the only comfort I have.
I know you're in here. What do you want?
Something moved behind me, a soft scuttling over the walls, followed by the explosion, painful creaking of what can only be rotting flesh and broken bones. Without hesitation, I whirl around, my fingers and camera ready, patiently waiting for another movement.
Leave! Leave now! There's nothing here for you!
There's a brief moment of silence after, and for a short while, I think my pleas worked. Then, without no warning, the shuffle resumed, and along with it are the sounds of a woman. Well, how do I know what to look for exactly? I don't see anything, but... Oh my god! The light flashes fleetly one last time, allowing me a glimpse of her grotesque mishap featured before it is once again lost in the darkness. All of a sudden her tune changes, no longer a soft cry, but a high-pitched shriek, brimming with pain, grief, and anger. Every ounce of courage I muster flees from my body at the sound, and the next thing I know, my hand is gripping the knob, and I'm wrenching the door open. Her wails follow me as I flee into the night. Pacing as though I've been more of Ashton's thing than mine. When I want to think, I sit and let the minutes tick by until an idea comes to mind or my paw settles down. And yet dried leaves and twigs crack under my shoes as I make another pass at them. Terror is too mild to describe what this is. There's no way in hell I'm going back. Whatever she is, pleading won't work. The moment we saw that leather sheeping after us.
I can't run. Not this time.
Nearly 2 hours had gone by since I left the comfort of my room for the solitude of the park. She's screeching out ever since I started making calls. No one's answering. Not even Rebecca, who has always kept her phone line open in case other people need her. Or Isabella, who strictly checks hers for any messages and readily responds as soon as she can afford. Does not help that Ash hasn't said a word when he left off too as
Damn
well.
it! I knew I should have asked him before I let him leave.
Knowing him, he can be anywhere, but there's really only one place he'd like to be at this time. The sun has already peeked over the horizon when I make it to the mansion. I have no idea what I'm expecting to see when I got here. There's action first and foremost. A part of me wishes my assumptions are correct, and he's really somewhere close by on a stakeout. But I've never been the lucky sort when it comes to that kind of guessing. And even after I made a route of the immediate vicinity, I could find neither hide nor hair of him. Calling him does no good either, considering how awful the signal is. He can't be too far if he's really here, but if he is, he would have already noticed him by now. Instead, there is only silence. The kind too quiet to find any sort of comfort in. Even the trees seem to have fallen asleep with the rest of the mansion, oblivious to what's happening around it, a small island of stillness in the otherwise fast-paced world. No wonder the whole island feels at odds with the rest of Luxembourg. While the city is alive, growing every minute, breathing every second, and pulsating with life, the village remains unmoving, unchanged. Not surprising the legend still lives up to this day, in ways she's still here, walking its hallowed halls, and beyond me the mansion looms ominously. But now ain't the time for fear. Even if Ash is not here, I still got to let the Wrights know what I've seen, what's in their home. And whatever grievance Ash has with them doesn't matter. There might be grounds for imprisonment, but they don't deserve a brutal death at the hands of one miraculous spirit. I'm sure Isabella would want the same thing. I head straight for the door without a second thought. It takes a few rings. The sound loud above the foreboding stillness before I hear footsteps on the other side.
Get it? Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour. Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Before long, the door swings widely open, with Mr. Wright standing behind it. Something would be completely suiting would it be a complete understatement to describe him. Like this, I got no doubt why Ash would find him a suspect.
You again? It's bloody 6 in the morning. What the hell is it now?
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't. Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep. Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
Before I can get a word in, he slams the door to my face and bolts it shut. Okay, with much facility.
Wait, sir, you gotta hear me out. You're both in danger if you stay in there. Have you seen the news lately? Everything's not a coincidence.
Oh, the silence answers me. Maybe if it was Miss Wright. Oh, who am I kidding? I've already seen the look on her face when I tried before. There are limits to how far a person will believe in you. Then again, I didn't believe Isabella when she warned us. And now I'm here desperately trying to save people, even if I'm aware completely in my own capacity to do so. Just what they call karma. If so, this is one horrible way of turning things around. Taking people's lives, playing with people's fears, making them feel useless.
You're around, ain't you? You here? Inside this house? Listening, watching, or whatever it is that you spirits do? What do you want? You're already dead! Leave us!
Nothing. I don't even know who I'm talking to, or if a sane person is supposed to be doing that. The only thing I got after is a feeling of foolishness washing over me. Or perhaps this is just me losing my mind. I have other options and any other ideas. I let my hands slide off the door surface and fall listlessly to my sides. I can go back to Luxembourg. Try to find the others. Try to get out of the mess with them. I'll let them know how much in deep shit we all are. Both sounds good. Either way, my loitering here ain't helping at all. I'll let the quiet then calm me for a few more minutes before standing up and heading out to fetch my bike. It's quite a distance to Luxembourg, but if I hurry, I'll reach it in maybe. The rustling stops as soon as I turn around and strain my ears for any other movement around me.
Yo, Ash, you there?
No answer. If he is here, and I just missed him earlier. Already my feet are moving in search of him for the second time. It won't hurt to double check. Triple check even. With how big the property is, he can be anywhere. And things ain't so urgent. If they ain't so dire that lives are at stake, I probably have more just waited for him to show up again.
Damn it! He needs to realize what exactly it is he's dealing with.
That it is not just a petty criminal he can simply throw in jail. There is something beyond the authority police badge could ever give him. The guy needs to stop playing the big damn hero. Sit down and chill. Everything comes in short, shallow rasps by the time I've made it back to where I started. Still no sign of him, and I'm begging to think I'm just wasting my time here. But that is when I hear it. I recognize the melody and the heartbeat. Ma's favorite song. I listen for a while, trying to gauge where exactly from the house it's coming from. My feet starts moving before I can stop them. And there is a circle a corner from a room in the first floor. A single window is open, but I can't make out whoever's inside. However, I'm sure the singing comes from there. Still, why I'm here, I'll hear an old tune here about places I won't know. It's not an obscure song by all means, but it is pretty rare to find someone who knows this. And for some reason, Death seems to follow this song around. Panic locks itself in the base of my throat at once. Whoever's humming might be. I don't want to be persistent now, but on the off chance that it is Miss Wright.
Shit.
Ginger Fox, how are you? What's up, Mo? How you doing? I'm good, how are you? I shouldn't get sparks in there. I can put myself in danger before I can save anyone. Ash will tell me so in the exact same words. Might even write me a direction why that is a bad idea if it ain't so lazy. But damn it, god damn it. I don't know. I'd like to enter the open window actually. I can search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's feels like by the time we come back, someone's already bit by the dust. That and the cries go louder against my ear the longer I linger. Almost impossible to ignore, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. For a moment, I let myself shudder, shaking the uneasy feeling off my head. This can't be a good idea, not by a long shot. Still, I gotta try. Funnily enough, not for a couple as high profile as the Wrights. They don't seem to have any security detail patrolling around. A few guards here and there, sure, but one would expect they'll have more considering the size of the place. It works to my advantage, though, and I really can't complain when there's a high chance I might get arrested for what I'm about to do. Welcome back. Luckily, the window's wide enough for me to fit through without making any noise. There's certainly no going back now. But as soon as I step into the parlor, all of it ceases. Why, I find no trace of the woman I heard crying like I am expected to. The room's still empty at this time of the hour, and I'm left standing awkwardly in the middle of the hush. Maybe she gets hit somewhere?
Hello? Are you here? I heard someone earlier, and I'm here to help.
Hoping for an answer, I let the question hang in the air. But several seconds merely go by without a word, with the slightest movement to indicate there is someone in here. Has been here. With the stories I've heard, the things I've seen, it takes effort to keep my brain from going into that line of thought.
I'm not going to hurt you. If you're here, say something.
Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. But with no one responding, I can't help but feel silly like this, and the awareness that I'm just trespassing a house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Suddenly the silence feels uncomfortable, and a kneading anxiety slowly creeps up my back. I shake it out while I can. If it ain't here, it ain't here. I don't spare the room. Another glance while I walk back down the way I came. Out into the window, leave before someone else
I
notices.
thought I heard a servant moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about. How unpleasant.
My heart shoots up into my throat. I can run. The window is a few steps away. I should be able to escape, but instead, out of some foolish impulse, I turn around. Perhaps because the only impression the guy has left me, in what few minutes we met, is nothing but unsettling. I'm doing well. This game seems interesting. It is interesting. I'm enjoying it.
This ain't what you think it is.
You're quite the distance from the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing and...
First blow knocks away from me, sending me heaving and crumpling to my knees. Tears well up my eyes as the pain swells when he twists my wrist around my back, behind my
You
back.
gotta listen to me.
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
Jesus. For a moment there is only silence and a sudden piercing ache. Then thumb at the back of my head. More abruptly, tilts on its axis dimming. On the verge of my consciousness, I can only hear the stuffing of feet, the thud of the door being closed, and a woman crying, asking for help. I know no more. God. Pain's the worst when I come to, a sharp, piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing I can't handle. Barely open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. How are the walls that welcome me are unfamiliar. When everything comes into focus, I recognize the place for what it is. A cell. Dark, cramped, with the only light coming from the moon outside, streaming through the cell window, barred by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back to me in sharp bursts, the mansion looking for action, a familiar tune, and a woman crying. All while my head still aches from the hit I received.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching the cramps from my shoulders as I do so, but stopping when a sudden movement induces an acute, stinging pain breaks your
Damn,
mind.
they got me good. What time is it?
It's expected of taking everything I have on my person, wallet, cell phone, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol. In the first place, ending back, and there still ain't in my agenda. The first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Considering who has likely put me in here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to my touch when I approach it, looking for the person on duty. They usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton at least have to know I'm here. He'll be pissed, I'm quite sure of, but he's the only one who can help prove my innocence and get me out. However much I don't want to rely on him for this. The hallway in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through from further in. Luckily, the poor officer is assigned to late-night duty. Judging from the snippets of conversation I catch sitting top it over a snack, is that moron who thought it's wanted to cross the rights. They're used other names too, most of which I'd like to have words with them about in the future. But really, I'm in no position right now.
Excuse me. Anyone?
So,
Excuse me. I need to make a...
blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bar tightens as the revolting scent reaches my nose. More than the gore, the foul smell of death hangs heavily in the air. And against me better my judgment I turn. God. Her face is the first thing I see. A gruesome sight on its own, eyes glimmering with nothing but malevolence, blood oozing from the large puncture wound on her head. Mouth open wide in a voice of scream. I clamp on that compulsion wrench. An instant I step back, putting my distance as this cramp set well loud between us. That's like the ghost, the creepy ghost that's kinda haunting them. She's disturbing. The bars rather as soon as my shoulders hit it. Hindrance not to freedom but to safety.
Get away from me!
She moves in short, sudden bone crunching twitches. I know there was no escape. I screamed for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody! Get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Unlock a memory fragment. You unlock the memory fragment. What is that? What is that? What's a memory fragment? What? Huh? Numbers are so little on the top of my screen, and they glare at me with such intensity that I can just hear their accusations. I'm late for another date with the girls, yes, but I have a perfectly good excuse. Considering I didn't follow typical office hours, they really can expect me to be able to just go as I please. At 5:30 on the dot, the client is first and foremost my priority. I have to sit tight with my personal assistant. Chris tells me we have a big one coming up, and I shouldn't miss this one. He knows a lot more than the one who's in the what's what when it comes to these socialities, and I trust that judgment call. I really don't have time for rich people, their drama and their politics. These sort who were born with silver spoons in their mouth, and who were used to wagging their silver tongues about. I'll let him handle the negotiation with them for the most part. Why else would I have hired him? But he told me I'd received a message about an hour ago.
If only he has the full shilling when it comes to the time.
Come on, I have a social life too, to an extent. Sort of. Pressing my head against the table, I try to stave off an incoming headache when the notification for a new email pops up. All I'm expecting is, hey, this looks like a good job I found. Go send them a design or something like that, really. That's often how it goes. Even with these rich, jammy clients who've heard of me from their equally rich, jammy friends, I can't expect them to hire me right off the bat. Just all well and good and reasonable. We figure out what they want, send them my profile, my drafts for the projects, my rates, and hope for the best. Hold on. Okay. Figure out what they want. Okay. This is a big client, Marianne. I'll babysit for you. I can please take this one project. I promise this person is huge, and look, this email. Complete take project. As a formal request to secure the services of Marianne McCullough. Hereinafter called the designer. The right by Hannah Bright. Hereinafter called the client for interior design work at client hopes to have the designer there on 21st October Friday with the time pending. But I hope the mail and see that I've been requested by the client specifically. Well, I certainly didn't expect that, and it's pretty straightforward too. Anyone else would probably be excited they will be working with Diana Wright. She's just one of those rich societies that everybody loves to talk about, no matter how hard I tried to tune such nonsense out. It would have been enough for me to reply an affirmation to Chris and leave, but he has never pleaded for me to take a project before. We worked with big personalities in the past, celebrities, bankers, and even a few politicians. My PA has been indifferent about those. So the question bounced about my job before I spy one of the email's attachments. A newspaper clipping from the Lichbron Daily Business news section, boosting the headline. Wright Enterprise donates $2.5 million to refuge. It certainly caused quite a stir back then. Apparently they invited businessmen and societies everywhere, in the guise of it being some big business
$2.5 million and an expensive looking party to boot. These people sure know how to throw their money around.
I thought I should be so callous. They're going to do a lot of good and help a community of people with all those pounds. I thought people shouldn't criticize such acts, whether they were for sure or not. At the very least, I know they'll be able to pay my rents. When the headline out of the way, however, I found myself staring at the picture that came along with the clipping. Because, wow, here I am expecting a sour woman in a blazer and skirt. The woman that would plaster on the front page looked like she belongs on the front page of the entertainment section, or even find to be cast as a pin-up for glamour. Okay, I'll be real here, a men's magazine. She sure knows how to rock that dress. Wait, her hair, her eyes, her lips, she can't be here. She can't be her. And at the same time, she is her, only several years younger. She looks just like... Now, come on, Matt. The world is full of pretty blondes. It's just a coincidence. Shaking my head, I snap out of it and reach for my phone when it buzzes, nearly falling off the chair in my process. Who else would be on the other line but the very people waiting for me?
Piss, I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm on my way.
That's what I say. Yet I still don't move from my chair, face flushed and heart racing. I could only stare until I can will myself to reply that yes, I'm accepting the assignment. And it takes even more time for me to get close the image, shut down the computer and leave. Even then, it has already burned its image into my mind, no matter how much I wish it would just disappear. Make me eager for the alcohol and the company. Make me eager for anything that can help me forget. It's a good thing the nearest pub gets a hop, skip, and a jump from here. Right? The Galloway Shaw is called by those who frequent the place. It's the only decent Irish pub in the county. You can pretty much tell that someone is new if they call it by its official name, the Crawl Bar. Nor home away from home ever since I moved to Loughborough. Well, that is when I'm not cooped up in my condo and working away. It has good alcohol, good company, and thank God, in St. Cecilia, good music. Crowd favorites like the Booty Noise, the High Whistlemen, and Second Fusion Orchestra are often played. Not to mention the singing. I love singing. Anyone could just break out into a drinking song, and the others in the pub were just wonderful that they start singing along. And doing so while intoxicated is the best way to go about it. Hey, it's a win-win as long as I don't puke in the middle of the chorus, and as long as I can get home in one piece at the end of the day. And tonight is karaoke night. What better time than to try and sing all my worries away? That's what my intoxicated brain tells me.
The ghost of guilt and sorrow remembers
Sing the blues.
who I am, and in the prison of my heart, I was my only slave.
But drinking all reminds me of my home, and the thought of home makes me think of
But in
her.
the depths of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair.
Makes me nauseous. It sickens me that the smallest amount of her can cause me such
I'll
grief.
fight for what's worth fighting for. Forget the fear, forget the rest.
Of course, that might give me the booze. She has a nice voice. She do. Any other time, I would be scolded myself for
I
drinking too
lied
much.
to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell.
We already have a client, and we'll be having our first little meet and greet in a few days.
Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you. 'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
I want to at least enjoy this night, get over the hangover tomorrow, and return to being a prime and proper professional after.
That song was for Cam, our lucky bride-to-be. So give her hand, Galway shawl.
Considering the statement I'm in, one can excuse my smug grin and cheers and applause rise among the pub's patrons. Because possibly off-key public singing aside, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now, and that's a good reason as any to belt out in front of these strangers. With good drinks and good friends, there's nowhere else I'd rather be tonight. And I'll forget for a short while.
And that song was brought to you by Marianne McCullough, everyone! A round of applause!
That was so good. You rock, Marianne.
Oh, please stop. You're just saying that.
You know neither of us can hold a tune, Marianne. A toast to our shameless drunk singer. May your drinks forever flow and your notes be ever lovely.
If anyone deserves a toast tonight, that's Cam. Finally sealed the deal after 3 years, eh?
Read 'em and weep, bitches.
Camilla's diamond engagement ring gleams as she holds it up for all the world to see. She has reasons to be proud. 3 years of living together, and her boyfriend finally asked her the big question. Obviously, she said
Don't get
yes.
too attached to that ring or the one after, sweetie. I was wearing a wedding ring not so long ago, and look at where I am. But enough of me being a downer. Cheers to a happy engagement!
Of course, it's something like Her not divorce were to happen, I'd be there for Cam. Just Cam had been there for me, acting more than just my yoga instructor. I can't be happier for my friend right now.
Cheers!
Well, we both will be there for Cam, won't we? Haruna and I? Haruna? I think it's how you pronounce it. It's been a real bad year for her ever since her divorce. She's such a nice person, even loaning me money to open a studio, and she didn't deserve what her husband had pulled. I'm happy she's smiling again and picking out like she used to. I think we all missed our Japanese firecracker. We met in yoga class, something I had joined to keep myself in shape, and well, honestly, so that I can make friends when I move to Luxembourg. Clearly it worked like a charm, and it definitely didn't have anything to do with the fact that I brought along my lucky D20 die with me on the first day, no sir. I love these girls so much.
What about you, Marianne? You're 30 years old and you still haven't got yourself a man.
And you guys know I have a very busy schedule. I don't have time for that.
Oh, come on. That's a lame excuse and you know it. You need a man who'll take care of you and you need it now. Maybe some hunk will be your house hubby while you rake in the dough.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Who needs a Mr. Right?
Hey, look at me. I'm Marion McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma, but I can't get myself a date.
I mentioned druids and demons once. They don't even know the rules or understand what the numbers mean. And I certainly am not some sort of holy person. I am a far cry from a miracle worker, and I barely have the willpower to fight off demons, especially my own.
Actually, maybe she isn't looking for a Mr. Right, but a Mrs. Right. Oh, my Marianne, we still love you even if you're in the closet.
That would explain some things. How do you know you don't have a ring anymore? Maybe you two can be together and I don't have to worry about my best girls being alone.
What are you on about? There's nothing to explain.
But the more I deny the louder they tease until the other people in the pub start to watch. Doesn't help at all when her drapes her arm over my shoulders and
Will I
leans
be all
in.
yours then? Will you be making me feel like a woman?
I know that they're kidding around, but it doesn't make me comfortable in the slightest. So when Kamala notices my silence, sees my pressure in my face, they stop. And when the awkward air settles over us, the rest of the pub goes back to whatever they were doing before the whole thing ever happened. They probably won't even remember it when they wake up with massive hangovers anyway.
Me too.
Hey, no hard feelings, right?
Raise my glass. They smile. We drink. There's no need to say more. We're all definitely far too drunk tonight. Eventually the fun time's in. It is a weekday after all. And with Haruna being a nurse, she still has to get ready for her next shift. Cam also has a loving fiance waiting for her at home, and really didn't have to make a fuss about having left some buns in the oven when she took off early. Really, I understand. I was the one who insisted, who was determined to get pissed drunk anyway. Moving to the bar, I sit. Alone at least. Alone with a stranger. Oh God. I haven't seen him here before. Obviously not a regular. He hasn't said word and just sits there, savoring his drink, with his whiskey served neat in one hand and lighter in the other. It doesn't seem like he knows me yet. And maybe I should go before he does look my way. Because he was pretty and he was blonde, and those two things plus alcohol never did me any good. I thought too late. Judging by the way his flushed face and the dazed eyes, look in his eyes, he's as pissed drunk as I am. But whereas I feel like kneeling over, he looks like he's still ready to take the catwalk by storm. Really, he just has the air of one of those men who think they owe the world.
Hello there, sexy. Please don't stand up on my account. I already like what I see. Fancy a drink? It'll be on me.
But then again, I might be pleasantly surprised if he proves me
Want
wrong.
some between the sheets? Sex on the beach? I'm talking cocktails, of course.
Fat chance, but it doesn't matter, we both know how to play the game. And there are two different ways for the night to end. One thing or another is going to happen. The question is, what do I want to
Oh
do?
no, that's fine. I'd rather order some blue balls and some EMF if you don't mind.
He looks like he's about to say some witty retort, but stops himself and downs the rest of his whiskey. I order a mint julep. He gets another whiskey, and we start the customary small talk. Of course, the saying, ask me the questions and I'll tell you no lies, goes without saying. We ask nothing but each other, offering up falsehoods to establish a treacherous fake connection between two strangers at a pub, if only to pass the time. Whiskey, as I have come to call him, it is supposedly 21 years old, single, takes care of his sick mother, and is a manager of some sort. Manager of what? I didn't care to listen to the details. Meanwhile, Mint, as he had come to call me, is 29, and what did I say I was again? Oh yes, I told him that I was a professional chocolate taster, because, fuck it, if I'm going to lie about what my job is, might as well make it fun. It's a pretty decent chat between two pretty drunk strangers. Maybe it's just me, but we might as effing well spend the tiniest bit of effort in pretending there was something meaningful in this meeting. Would have been nice too if it was just left like that. But during a lull in the conversation, he brings it up.
Well, I've never been with a woman taller than me.
To think he might have been different from the rest.
Never have and never will. Whiskey. Can we go back to the history of chocolates? Did you know that chocolate candy was introduced in 19th century England as a healthier alternative to alcohol?
St. Lucy was the most beautiful woman on her time. She had men come from the four corners of the world just to see the pure light of her exquisite green eyes. We're so lucky, anyway. Wait, he's short? Apparently he seems tall, but I don't know. Apparently he is tall, but I don't... Judging by how he looks, he probably is tall, but...
No, enough of the history lesson. Come on, Mint. You know and I know what you came here for.
Though not every suitor was gallant, and she was no fool. She had known that sooner or later she wouldn't be able to defend her castity.
On. There must be something that gets you going.
So she had taken out a knife and gorged out her own eyes.
There is something, but I don't think you can handle it.
Impressed with her devotion, God restored her eyes and made them more beautiful than before. He has a particular sense of humor, hasn't he? Because that only meant suitors kept going after Lucy, and she kept her eyes on that chalice to get him away.
I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever it is.
St. Lucy, help me turn away from sin. Help me with my own blindness.
My place isn't too far from here. I won't take care of you if it ends up being too much for you. And no one will be able to hear you if you try to scream. You sure you want to go down that road, pretty boy?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
God. The best thing about having my condo, so close to the pub, is it's easy of access. As long as I can still stand and walk, I can make it home. Maybe I need help from a kind neighbor or two to help me with the last leg if I've really gone overboard on the alcohol. But I've always made it home, sometimes with company. Of course, there always comes with complications, especially with the real cleaning ones. But it isn't a good tip about stalkers to the building security can't fix. I'm always nervous though, even if this isn't the first time I've done this. And the first few minutes when we enter my room are the first few agonizing minutes where I try not to panic. Okay, Mac, so far so good. Don't make him smell your fear under all that liquor courage. He'll leave sooner or later, and I'll never have to see him again, just like every other man before him. I like to say to myself that the men I brought to my place was more scared than I was. Yet there was no fear when I looked into Whiskey's eyes, only delight. When he starts touching me, I don't even hesitate when I push him against the door. Roughness is to be expected. And as long as he sticks to the script, everything will go smoothly. We'll have our little temple in the sheets, he'll leave, we'll forget about it. Are they actually going to have sex? If somebody asked what I really wanted, I would have told them that I wanted a bed of roses, chocolate, and music, maybe in an Irish castle. But all I really want is her, and that's never going to be reality. That was my fault, of course, because I was afraid, because I was a coward. They would never hold a candle up to her. They're going to do the dirty for sure. She went away in my life. The thing is, though, he's married. And I had let her go. I can't even be bothered at the thought of her. The single thought of her makes my resolve to see this affair through waver.
Wait.
What is it now?
Yes, what is it now?
We're both drunk.
And?
This is wrong. Don't you think it's a bit fucked up that we're about to have sex and we're just calling each other by the drinks that we had?
What's up, Becca? How you doing?
How messed up are we?
Doll, shut up with the ethics and morality talk. It is seriously putting me out of the mood.
If you want to leave now, Whiskey, I understand. I mean, with how smashed you are, it'd probably be best for you to sleep the night unless you want to be mugged. But I won't stop you. And this isn't going to happen.
Bloody hell.
Of course, there's no for putting off our night of sexual conquest. But no means no. And beyond spewing a few profanities under his breath, he surprisingly simmered down soon enough. I was worried for a moment that he might try to force something. Instead, he makes a show of fixing his suit. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing good. Smoothing down his hair before making himself comfortable on the nearest seat he could find.
What are you doing then? You have a guest in your home. Put the damn kettle on.
Fuck you, bitch.
Dandelion tea if you have it. But I suppose all you have are those shitty tea bags from the store.
Fuck you, sir. If it isn't for the absurdity of this turn of events, I would have flipped him off for thinking I have no taste. But in the end, I just laughed. All I got are cans of Korean ginseng and lemon balm, though, no dandelion. So, a second thought, I do with the tea. That's 3 minutes to get to the kettle to a boil. 3 minutes when we say nothing to each other. I mean, what do you even say to the girl I was going to sleep with until I changed my mind? I doubt he's in the mood to talk about the influence of choice. Definitely a cocky dude. And he's married, too. I already know about this guy. I'm doing the right choice. If I have a gut feeling, or if I don't think this is a good idea, if I am, for example, single, I wouldn't be doing this either. It's still unusual by the time we're both seated on my bed, with mugs of tea in hand.
Just so you know, whatever is going on right now is a lot stranger and fucked up than the one night stand.
I beg to differ, bitch.
We are two messed up individuals by your logic.
Everything is messed up, if you ask me. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and loved lost. Oh, this whole world is a cesspool.
Bruh. The dead air is telling when it fills the room once more. One would think this is the perfect time to burst, to feel a bit whatever issues that made us the effed up person that we are today. And it is. But I guess some part of me would rather not put the weight of my problems on somebody else's shoulders. It wouldn't be fair to leave that to a person I don't even know if we'll ever see each other again. Sooner rather than later, we both pass out on my bed, mugs left forgotten on the floor. Well, I got Whiskey's already gone. A bottle of painkillers and a note on the table are the only evidence that I wasn't alone last night. I don't even question where these are from, or just how he knew my real name. Thanks for the tea, Maisie and Whiskey. I'm even grateful for something to help with the hangover. Might as well. I have a job to do. It isn't often that I think about drinking on the job, but after meeting with the Wright shift today really makes me want to break my self-imposed rules. Because first off, effing damn Whiskey was effing damn Mr. Wright. And on top of it all, some have forgotten to inform me that they didn't own the Emerald Mansion yet when they hired me. I'm doing well, how about you? What? What sort of person does that?
Rich people.
I could do nothing but twiddle my thumbs at this, however. Twiddle my thumbs and wait for the go signal. It's not like I can accept other smaller projects. This is a big job, and I should be ready to start on it at any time. Not to mention that my PA practically begged me to be patient and wait this out. It was a hard decision to agree, but I did so on the end. Besides, I'm doing this for the Emerald Mansion, not for anything or anyone else. I've had a headache with whatever I do anyway. I go to the pub again, but seeing what happened a few days ago, I'd rather not end up in bed with another potential client. And it might be a huge leap in logic, but a library is the next best thing after the pub. I have to go there anyway. I need more books for Dad. Plus, I also need to return the ones I borrowed last time. Finding a new book or two to read to myself while I have nothing to do isn't such a bad idea either. So on a Saturday morning, I find myself going to the only library in Lochbrown to hopefully cool off. After returning an Ursurly in a poetry book by Henry of Poverty, I asked the librarian about the several titles on my list, though I don't have much luck on that front. Dialogue with Death has already been snatched, and she bluntly said that she did not keep our mathematical universe for someone who didn't return books on time. I make headway at least when I ask about Sage and Redemption of Havana by Jekyll. If you can't hear snarling and pointing at the history section as headway that is. The history section is devoted for any other accepted for herself, and a redhead though I'd wager against the Brits just passing by to get to the classical literature section. What's up, Herman? Happy New Year, man. So many books, so little time. Getting the books and seeing so many wonderful titles give me great pleasures. Happy New Year's, Herman. I hope you're doing well, buddy. That's when I spot it.
Sailor. Why don't you come to Mama?
It's not the Neville book, battle book I was looking for. No, it's even better. Oh, that's interesting. Newly acquired History of Lochbrown, first edition too. I know I just have to get it. I've been waiting to get my hands on the book for so long. The fact that there is only one copy proved to be a problem, though, when Red reaches out for it at the same time as I do.
I had this first, miss.
Oh, hi. What's up? Rebecca. What's up, Fractured? I hope you are well. I'm good. How about you? I see your video, Mo. You rock. Can only stare her down when she refuses to let go of the book. Refusing to let go of it as well. I raised a brow at her in the hope that the fact that I was significantly taller than her would intimidate the girl. Even then, she refused with a rebellious
This isn't exactly light reading, miss.
Red, that's her name, huh? No, her real name's Rebecca, but she goes by Red because of her hair color, kind of, I guess. She don't really know her name at the moment, so she calls her Red.
I mean, do you even know which architect was at the forefront of 18th century Irish architecture?
I bet. A beat, sorry. She blinks and I can't help the smirk on my face, which is wiped off when she opens her mouth.
Edward Lovett Pierce, who established the Palladian style through his work with Castletown House and Irish Houses of Parliament. This bridge was destroyed in this year to delay French troops while under the regency of Mary of Guise.
This is not what I was expecting. Let's be honest, how many people would know these history facts? Aside from me, anyway.
Going right to the obscure ones, aren't you?
I go live every day now. I want to check your channel for sure. So I'm trying to upload some video and not application. Yeah, I heard sometimes people have that problem with YouTube.
Easy enough. Tullibody Old Bridge in Clackmannanshire, Scotland. On the January of 1560, if we want to be specific.
Suddenly, it's a game where we throw these history questions and facts at each other back and forth and hot tones unless we want to be thrown out of the library. I know I haven't gotten a notification for you a while either. I think it could be because YouTube is buggy, can be times, maybe. After a while, it goes from some strange competition to this strange but friendly banter, if I could be called that. But as fun as it is, the exchange soon slows down until we're grinning at how odd this whole scene
Marianne
is.
McCulloch, my desire for potatoes doesn't quite match what the stereotypes suggest.
Rebecca Gales, the Scots' supposed hatred for the English wasn't enough to stop me from teaching their little spawns.
But then we ever got their little tug of war, although she still holds the book in her hands. I had let go of it without realizing when she answered my question.
History teacher then?
Yet today I gotta visit my friend Channel Light. I never got notification. That sucks so, man.
Got it in one.
No wonder you gave me a run for my money. Now, if we're talking about architecture, I'd blow you out of the water.
I'll be back, guys. I gotta go bathroom. I'm back, guys. I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm back. The game kind of reminds me of some other game. I forgot which one. We made certain choices and such. I was gonna say Until Dawn, but it was like no. Oh my God, what was the thing's called? What was the Until Dawn monster called, Gavin? Wendigos. There you go. Yeah. What's wrong?
So I was wrong about Irving selling 2 liters of Coca-Cola.
Huh?
I was wrong about Irving's not selling 2 liters of Coca-Cola.
I told you I've seen them there before.
Yeah,
No.
I now know where they're 2, so.
They're what?
I now know where they're 2. So they aren't in the back
I'm
of the
talking to
pub.
Jordan.
If they aren't in the back of the pub, I don't know where shit's 2. They're out
Oh,
front.
you're good. Did you get any?
Yeah, I had to pick up 2 liters.
For me?
For me.
What? For what? Coca-Cola.
Yeah, so
But
something to
I
drink.
like Coca-Cola.
Good for you. You got ginger ale.
Mm,
You want more? You can get more tomorrow.
I
You're from where? Luxburn Uni?
Oh no, just St. Gordon.
okay, go.
Okay, sure.
You think I could go but choose a more appropriate saint to name themselves after, especially when they're young?
And I'm guessing you're an architect, if you're so confident
I'm
about
guessing
the
you're an
subject.
architect. If you're so confident about the subject. Okay.
Interior designer, Miss Gales.
It does look similar. The Descent. I was thinking one Until Dawn, but it was at the one of the girls.
Please, just call me Rebecca. You aren't one of my
zombies.
students, are you?
Marianne, then.
The kid said that I was an architect, but there's no point in explaining why I wasn't one
So,
anymore.
I've never seen you before. I'd like to think I've met every history aficionado in town.
I blame the rock I've been hiding under, of course. That, and I'm usually only here on the weekdays if time allows. Work often has me meeting clients on the weekends.
That must be interesting work.
It allows for some creative freedom, sure. But it's like working with children sometimes. Though you probably have it harder working with actual children. The hardest part is convincing them that your idea is their idea.
That sounds exciting.
It is!
But isn't that true for any workplace, though? We just cross our fingers and hope there aren't any man-children in charge of important things. Any big projects right now? I can't imagine that interior designing is a frequent thing.
I'm working on the Ermengarde mansion. Lucky me. That mansion. Inta. Wonderful. Breathtaking. I can't wait to start in it. Now that is beautiful architecture.
I pause. He wants to say something about the mention of the house. Not surprised that place is certainly popular with the locals, especially with the urban legends attached to it. This next second, though, she thinks to think better of it and drops what she's about to say. You're good, Gavin. No worries.
So, do you have a portfolio or anything I can take a look at? I'd love to see your designs. Maybe you have some on a tablet. I've met some designers before, and they're always going crazy over these virtual room apps or another.
A tablet? Please. Callicrates didn't need those silly iTabs when he built the Parthenon. I certainly don't need one to design a house.
Put it back in my place is all I have. Why should I buy such an expensive gadget that will just go outdated within the year when I have just as functional? Traditional ways had a far more personal touch, in my opinion. Not to mention those smartphones are awful tools of procrastination. If I find other games like this, guys, or like just similar with like kind of anime, RPG kind of stuff, I like it. I like the kind of what? Doki Doki. What's Doki Doki? No. Is it horror too? How do you spell it? It ain't free now. It's $19.99. That ain't bad though, considering. Ooh, the silver case. Zero gate, zero time, the bunker, Song of Memories. I will keep that in mind, Gavin. Thank you for bringing that up. Ew, the what? The breakers. Yo, the effects on this game looks fire though too. Claire. Oh, I figured you were going to say that, but no. She is sexy. Tacoma 2. What the fuck? Tacoma 2, yeah. Vicious Sisters. It's a horror game too. I'm back. Sorry for that. Maybe Genshin Impact ordering rates. I don't know about Genshin Impact. I'm a 50-50 on that game. I see other people play it, but I don't really play it myself. It seems like a game that I'd rather watch, but that doesn't mean I won't try it eventually sometime. And fuck touchscreens stole their evil thing that make typing what shouldn't be a simple task harder.
I do have an online portfolio if you'd like. I can...
Speaking or thinking of the devil seems to be someone that, because before I can even carry on, Rebecca's attention wanes as she pulls out her mobile. For what I can only assume is a call, she gives me an apologetic look before she standing up and excuses herself. Further into out she goes for some privacy. I do my best to give it to her as well, trying to tune her out.
Belle, is something wrong? Lunch at the coffee house? Sure, I can make it. I'm not too far. I can be there in 10.
But with how quiet the surrounding is, she can't blame me if I overhear snippets of her conversation. When she returns with a sheepish look on her face, I know that our friendly chat has to be cut short.
Sorry, I have to go and meet with some friends.
It's fine. Totally fine. No need to even apologize.
About the book.
Her embarrassment increases twofold when she realizes she's still holding on to history at Lux Brown. I don't give her time to think about it as I put a hand out and shake my head, fishing out a pen and paper from my bag alone with one of my business cards. I hand them over to her.
You know, I'm busy with work, so I might not even be able to take a peek at it anytime soon. You can go ahead and have it, but you'll have to ring me up when you're returning it just so I can snag it right away. Deal?
She made quick work, penning her number down and handing it back to me with a grin.
Deal. Just message me during school hours, of course. You have a good day then.
You too.
For Rebecca gone, I'm left alone standing in the history section. Although my original plan was simply to sit down and read a good book, our little pop quiz, if you could call it that, made the time pass but without any of us even realizing it. It was fun. I do believe I made a new friend. Good job, Marion. Even with the talk of lunch, however, I don't feel like grabbing a bite to eat. There are still other books to be read here, and I'm hoping to find something that will help me while I work with the words. Something like how to deal with arseholes professionally 101 just in case. I dealt with a lot of uppity, snotty, and rich clients before. But it's still better to be safe than sorry. Oh, hi, buddy. Sorry I didn't see you trying to open the door. Come on in, baby boy. Hey. Mom's boy. Because Luke Bright just takes the effing cake, and he probably manages to eat it too. Seems the world is conspiring to keep me from my me time as my mobile vibrates in my pocket at the moment. I find something from the shelves of the classic literature
Marianne
section.
McCulloch, Charlie Rose Design speaking.
Rose Cooper here, Miss McCullough. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time or anything. But I just wanted to check in and tell you that we've got the clear to hand over the documents. Madam Wright told us that we should forward the floor plans to you.
Already? How did they go through the process so fast? Surely there is so many red tape to even acquire the forms and the transferring of rights. No matter how rich the rights are, it shouldn't be this quick, right?
So, if I can just have your email, I'll be sending them your way.
I'd actually like a physical copy of the floor plans.
Oh, I suppose that's fine. I'm not at the office right now, but I can inform Miss Santos of your request.
I'll make sure to drop by the office after lunch if that's fine.
Not a problem. Right. Well, cheers.
Right. Cheers.
I don't know, I just don't. If there's some sort of deeper miscommunication when we last met. These things take time. It's been, what, a day? Less than that even. There isn't even a point in trying to make sense of these people who seem to be larger than life. As it looks like I'm on the clock starting today, I might as well eat. Grabbing some fish and chips from one of the street food stalls, I found a table to spend time with a copy of Marquis de Sant's The Crime of Love, since Rebecca left with the book I wanted. I read this one before, along with the rest of his works. This would be the 18th time, in fact. But it's always nice to read through it again while I don't have the time to enjoy something new. Besides, when you're dealing with people so filthy rich that they just end up plain filthy, you need the goods. Oh, Marquis sound advice.
La blessure se trouvant sans aucune sorte de conséquence.
The wound being without any consequence. Of course, it's foolish to think that things have no consequence, even when everything eventually does. Bright Reality Corporation's LeBron branch isn't too far off from the city center. Just a few blocks away, I could easily eat and walk. I'd rather get time to rest before I go into a flurry of activity. No doubt there will be so much to do once we get hands on with the mansion.
Still a lot better than working on another condo, at least.
Surely, no matter how much BRC and the old owner put into the restoration and preservation of the place, any big repairs will be superficial at least. I am quite certain that in their haste to sell the property, they did the worst job. It isn't an infrequent thing to do, despite how it is frowned upon. There'll be a lot of hidden issues that I will need to weed out, and I had to make sure I find every single one of them, especially the more serious damages. Structurally, integrity is definitely on top of the list we will have to consider. The building might look sturdy, but is centuries old. That alone would likely pose a few problems here and there, put limitations on what we can do. Besides, despite how much I detest these rich snobs, they can pay rather handsomely, so long as I do an excellent job and do more than necessary. Those two things always make sure the refers keep coming. I don't even have to hunt down projects for myself. When I do go to BRC's office, I can't help but stop and stare when I enter the building. With the lunch hour closing, employees should have been back already, and they still aren't filtering through the doors. I get that it's a Saturday, that people probably feel tired and lazy to be working on the weekend, but they're still on the clock and not bumming about wasting company time on the extended lunch breaks and cigarette sessions. The office is spacious, as it is with these big corporations. Each person is given their little space of what's usually a 2x2 metric cubicle. There's a lot more empty chairs than there are actually people working at their desks. It reminds me far too much of my last day at project during the massive layoffs due to the Irish economic crisis. But it isn't just that though. Everything is as quiet as a grave. It's as if these people are merely ghosts. Speaking of ghosts, Santos comes in through the front door, looking as if she's just seen one. She looks at me wide-eyed like a deer caught in the headlights, ready to bolt at any movement. I ask out of concern, but I feel it's not my position to do so. What if it's something personal? I simply would be overstepping my boundaries. Really, it's none of my business.
I presume that Miss Cooper told you why I'm here, Miss Santos?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just got back from lunch, you know? But it won't take too long. Don't worry.
Of course it won't. This whole project has established itself to be a matter done in haste. I do hope it doesn't mean that people are being careless in their duties.
She flinches and looks like she doesn't quite know how to respond to that. Thankfully, instead of opening her mouth, she leads the way towards her station and goes to fetch the floor plans. It won't take too long, as she said, but it does take a bit time spent to compose herself more likely.
You know, we usually just email these things.
I prefer the real thing.
Not that you would know. You probably have your nose stuck in front of a smartphone where you're not working, even when you should be working, playing those mindless, addictive games. I definitely wish Chris would stop playing that Batcat thing during work hours
I know
too.
what you mean. Digital painting is nice, but nothing beats the smell of real paint. Not that I go and smell paint like a crazy person, but, you know, the real thing is different.
Wait, what?
Yes, nothing is quite like the real thing.
Checking out the floor plans, I see that I'll have a lot going for me. Now I know how Ray felt when he found the Central Park West building floor plans from that one movie. This is why I became an inherit in the first place. Jackal being stylized as finance is the beauty of a thing. But at least gorgeous rooms, the delicate harmony between empty spaces. And speaking of empty spaces, there's something rather odd about these
I
things.
feel a bit silly saying it out loud because I've never lived in a big house, let alone a mansion. But during the tour, I had the distinct impression that the rooms were bigger. Maybe the scale is wrong? It's not much of a problem. And it is an old house.
There have been little details here and there that I would like to address during the open house too. But it was all forgotten in the wake of Miss Santos' incident and the trouble with ownership. The wine cellar is going to be a problem. I shudder to think what sort of repair they did to the place. There might have been things that were swept under the rug, pushed to the dark corner of the rooms and hidden away in barrels. Water damage could have been covered up. There might have been floods due to heavy rains in West England just last year after all, and if there's any sort of damage to the house foundation, that's going to be a lot of work. I was not able to look at the traffic at the attic as well. For all I know, a whole family of vermin could make their nest there. Working with pest control is always the worst. The sheer size of this place is staggering, even if it was a lot smaller than I thought. I might have been biting off more than that queue, but who doesn't like a good challenge? First things first, I'll have to.
So, do you want a coffee? The one from the staff room is pretty decent.
There's really no need. I'm sure you have rules against it.
Rules against bringing someone coffee? That's ridiculous. And even if there were regulations against it, nobody's really here to tell Sir John. I've already brought 2 mugs, and I'm not going to drink them on my own. Come on.
I just stamped down my annoyance at being distracted. Seeing the girl, the young woman though, it looks like she has a lot on her mind. And blabbering is her way of dealing with stray thoughts. I'm not really the one she should be babbling to. How should I respond? I give her time to speak up. But when she gets stairs, I clear my throat.
Yes? You have something to say?
As embarrassment creeps out on her face, I snatch one of the coffees from her and take a sip. Too
Just
hot.
thinking and speaking off the record, it must be fun what you do. You go to people's houses and you make them, well, pretty. You're sharing your art with them.
It's a little bit more complex than that. But if you put it that way, it is fun. I wouldn't have done it for 7 years if it wasn't a little bit fun, I guess.
These big clients always have paintings in their homes. Do you have a supplier for art pieces?
I didn't expect to hear such questions from her. Oh my. Is that Charlie? Seeing how well she handled herself yesterday, I didn't doubt damn why she was assigned to an important sale at the Emerald Mansion, despite the little accident she had. Now she just looked too young, too nervous, and unsure of herself, although her enthusiasm must make up for that in spades. What is the leather? It's an indie game. I never heard of it. It's basically like an RPG kind of anime. I guess it could be considered an indie horror game. It's basically a game where you try to keep everybody alive. The choices that you make will kill somebody, if possible. So, you kind of have to try and keep them alive if possible. I wouldn't have believed that she hadn't introduced herself the way she is at the moment. While watching her now, she actually looks like she should still be in college. Acts a bit like it too when I think about it. I thought she was a teen slumming it out in the mansion when I first saw her there, lying on the ground. Surprise, surprise, she turned out to be the one of the estate agents handling the property.
The clients usually support artists of their own choice. If they don't, I'm always happy to refer those that I know.
That's cool.
They're very picky. I don't think a hobbyist will have an easy time getting their work sold.
Okay.
Hey, I'll have you know I was a student of the fine arts.
Alright.
And yet, here you are, selling property. Maybe you weren't a very fine student of the arts.
So you're going to join his party now? Yeah. So it's basically a game where you make choices, and based on the choices you make, that's how a story goes. Cool, sounds like my cup of tea. I like those type of games. Yeah, I was saying earlier, it reminds me of Until Dawn, but it's without the monsters in it. But this case, okay, so the ghost that's in this game is based off of The Grudge and The Ring. So she looks very similar to both. And more of, it goes on the haunting of, like, after they find the letter and shows it to 5 or 6 people, she kind of haunts this person now to the point where they'll probably go insane. Which is, because I believe in ghosts and demons. I always have. So I'm kind of into this stuff. But I took that a bit too far. She bites her cheek and it looks like she's barely holding herself back.
It's not like I had a choice.
She mutters it under her breath. I barely even hear her. But the hurt is there. And it makes one wonder what brought it on. Although it is understandable if for reasons what I think it is. Very few people make it big in the art world. I can see why she'd be upset about it with that enthusiasm. Didn't have a choice when I left Ireland. It was that or years of unemployment, recession, and the toll it took in the construction industry was out of anyone's control. I don't know what choice she wasn't able to make, whether it was about her being at art school or something else. The world isn't a fair place, and the sooner she accepts it, the better. I don't know about that. Still, with the forlorn look on her face, I can't help but sigh. The girl reminds me far too much of myself when I was younger. Well, I gotta run, but I'll make sure to watch the replay later. Okay, see you later. Oh, that's where the hard part comes in. I got you. Right.
Well, if you're thinking of commissioning your paintings, I'll have to see your work first.
Oh, it's not... I didn't mean it like that. I don't have any paintings.
Really? You sounded a lot like you still did art or want to. Now I'm starting to worry that you might just like the smell of paint.
I'm not a paint huffer, sheesh. I just mean I don't make much anymore. I don't really have the time for it. The tools and materials aren't exactly cheap either.
Everything has a price. It sounds like you're making excuses for something you're presumably passionate about. If you really want to practice art, a little out of your wallet isn't much.
It's not that simple.
It's not? Life's simple. People just like to make it complex. Speaking off the record, I have some advice for you, kid.
Give a piece of advice to a younger you.
Either go for what you want, or stop thinking about it when you have something else. That is unless you enjoy making yourself miserable, then by all means.
You know, if you wanted to look at the floor plans without me bothering you, you could have just said so.
Would you have left me alone?
We'll never know now, will we?
A strained air settles in the room afterwards. It doesn't help that she doesn't immediately leave, as she has said, lingering awkwardly by the door with that downcast expression. It's clear there's more she means to say, perhaps even to defend herself and her choices in life. Or she is expecting me to dish out more of that advice. It's an awkward affair, and I shoot to hightail out of the reality office as quick as I can. Though I'm able to keep myself professional at all times, does not mean I like it. And seeing that most of the duty has already gone by before I realized it, I choose to head back to my flat instead. Instead, today being a Saturday. No fun, but at least this way I could definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter. Considering how much I'll be seeing Whiskey in the near foreseeable future, I have a feeling I'll need all the rest the weekend can give me. For the first time in a long while, excited as I am to work on the mansion, I cannot wait to be over and done with the project. Monday couldn't come any sooner. After taking the floor plans from Miss Santos the day before the last, I spent most of the Sunday drawing up plans and calling in my suppliers. Although no design choices have been made yet, I'm quite sure that they want high-end applicants, the most expensive materials and the most pretentious everything. They usually did these rich types, based from experience at least. Given how badly this whole thing started, it wouldn't hurt to be prepared. I had to check myself, make sure I'm not playing with my gloves as one of the other building tenants take the elevator up with me, It makes me self-conscious when the woman's eyes go over me, and I'm sure she was going to point out some perceived flaw in my physical appearance. But I saved from being paranoid when they went off a few floors later. Still, the ride up to the floor is nerve-wracking. The rates lived at the very top, the penthouse, the creme de la creme when it comes to condominium and urban living. Just getting access to the place is an ordeal of its own. I had to jump so many hoops, so many security checks, get to secure a key card, not only because of building management, but because of the right's personal security. I sometimes feel like I'm being interrogated for a crime and not visiting a client at their home. Even with their personal assistant called in to help out and verify my presence, the process is aggravated rather than hassling. Speaking of the devil, the elevator door opens and I'm greeted by none other than Whiskey, not so little
I
lackey.
do apologize if I kept Mr. and Mrs. Wright waiting, but I'm here now and I'm ready, so if I may, where are they?
They've just woken up, but they should be down soon. I'm surprised to see you made it through security. And only 5 minutes late.
You said I'd be through security soon, and it took half an hour. Define soon in this context.
I'd make myself comfortable if I were you. I'm going to go and put the kettle on.
About the tea, I don't want to intrude or anything.
The sir does not like being woken up by the whistling. But who am I to deny tea to a guest?
He shoved me to the camp before drifting off toward the kitchen, quietly pulling out a teapot, cups, and all sorts of other things in preparation for tea. I ignored the animosity towards his employer that his words implied. I wouldn't be too surprised if Whiskey's on people who don't like him. Something to quiet and isolation instead, to break myself for what's to come. In this case, soon apparently means more than 5 minutes or even 10. I sit in the living room just waiting. When the kitchen starts whistling and the tea has been served, I continue to wait. Like the silence is relaxing. But then there's a crash. I nearly spilled tea all over my lap in surprise, and I look up, expecting security to come running. Even the man at the kitchen counter continues to fix breakfast like he heard nothing. I don't want to speak up about it because he looks far too absorbed in his cooking. I don't want to be the cause of burnt food or worse. However, there's something in me that just wants to figure out what it was, although I am normally not this nosy. I'll continue waiting. I have no business with it. These rich people usually value their privacy above all else, after all. Unless, of course, they're posting pictures on social media, bragging about what good people they are for allowing themselves to be interviewed for some magazine. Then again, the whole reason I'm in this mess is because I don't give two shits about what goes on with people like them. I'm not going to get caught snipping about and be accused of some imagined wrongdoing. I'm not going to be some busybody detective wannabe and run off to investigate whatever that was. Probably just because mundane anyway, like a lamp falling over. I'm just going to sit here and wait for Miss Wright, with my tea. Complete silence.
Could I at least put the telly on?
I'm really expecting the answer. If he hadn't heard the crash, I doubt he would have heard.
As long as you don't watch some silly soap opera, the LBC News would be fine. The William Walker show is on too if you prefer that. Not that I watch it, but my husband does.
Oh, he's gay. Oh, that's interesting.
The remote is under the coffee table.
Oh, sure. Maybe I'll be lucky and catch the doc. I heard they're having reruns of the classics, and I want to see the second meet sixth in Spain. If not, just the news then. Thank you. I'll let you get on with your cooking now.
Did you get to know the crash a while ago then? Whatever. Fetching the remote, I turn the TV on in hopes of feeling the silence. Trying to anyway, because this thing won't turn on. And doesn't that make the silence more awkward or whatever? I know I might not be the best with tech, but I'm sure I can work a simple television remote.
Batteries must be dead.
What? Bro, what the fuck? There's blood everywhere. Help me, it's Citizen Bridge. I look at my own hands and find them clean. Yeah, I can see my guy's ghastly reflection gaping back at me. And though there is nothing staining my skin, I can feel the sticky and warm feeling of blood dripping down my cheeks. I should be worried. Instead, I feel my attention drawn towards her. Her beautiful blonde hair, her soft lips with skin so fire, and swaying hips. I want nothing more than to hold her, plant my lips on her neck, and to run my fingers through her hair. She laughs and she smiles when she looks at me, but where are her eyes? Temptation is gone in an instant, and I recoil, horrified at this reflection I am seeing, only to back into something, or rather someone. Miss Wright stands there, twirling a lock of her blonde hair, a soft smile on her lips, and a hand on her hip. I almost back away, but I ground and remind myself that this is my client. Whatever I just saw, well, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that perhaps I'm going a bit daft. It would be preferable, of course, to think it was all the trick of the light or the makings of an overacted imagination.
Good morning, Mrs. Wright. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Have you been standing there long?
No, I just came down and saw you were having a hard time with the telly. We must have forgotten to change the batteries. Are you all right, dear? You're looking a bit pale. Haven't you had breakfast yet?
No, I'm fine. I had breakfast already, Mrs. Wright. I just need...
Well then, you mustn't have had enough breakfast. I'm all for a good diet, but that's the most important meal of the day. Johans is cooking up pancakes. Pancakes will make anyone feel better, he always says. We can sit down and tuck in. You'll feel right as rain once we get some fluffy, syrupy goodness in you. And are you sure you're fine, Marianne? You're shaking.
Looking down at my hands, I can see them trembling. Really, just because she looks so much like her, I'm becoming a damn train wreck. I've been seeing her in my dreams and hearing her voice ever since I met Miss Wright at the mansion. With so many blondes in the room, what was different with her?
I just remembered something, that's all. It's nothing to worry about.
Are you sure? I am all ears if there is something bothering you. I don't mind a good story, and I don't want it to affect your work performance.
Gossipy wagon, isn't she? She should just leave you alone. It's not like you need her.
You don't have to worry about that, Mrs. Wright. I say business stays business, and anything else can stay in the doghouse until I'm done with work.
I just have to bear through it, don't I? If I tell her that I'm hearing voices, that'd be a fast track straight to the nut house. What else can I do? Saint help me, Lise. I've become like her father Damon, insane at the thought of a lost love and mad in the pursuit of
Shall
another.
we talk about your work then?
If you'd like. It's on your time, after all.
I've been told many good things about you, and I've seen some of your work before. Others speak very highly of your work etiquette. Yet I've never heard of you before. Not even a whisper of the McCullough name.
Well, I've only been in Luxbourne for 4 years. Tried to make it big in London for nearly 3 years before. And I've only been working these high-quality projects for the past year.
I take straight to the point. It's best to be brief when talking to clients. After all, keep it clean-cut as much as possible. Yet at the same time, I had to make it engaging so it doesn't look like I don't want to talk to them.
I imagine it hasn't been easy. I can't see why you've moved from London to Luxbourne, though.
Job vacancies were fewer at the time, and I had a lot of competition in London. Let's not even talk about the living costs there. But I'm glad I moved here, even if it hadn't been smooth sailing. If I had it easy, I probably wouldn't be working projects like these.
Why even bother explaining to her? She won't understand. She's practically born with a silver spoon in her mouth. The woman could probably snap her fingers and have servants attending to her beck and call.
She does look like the part with bold hairs, doesn't she? It would be a relief if she's just that. Sometimes I'm different from Miss Wright and her. before she can get another word in, words that have proven me wrong or right. She looks up at the loaf with a fond expression on her face. With just a simple glance, she can put in so much love that I feel a tad bit jealous of whoever holds it.
Good morning, Luke, darling.
Good morning, ladies. What a wonderful morning it is that I wake up to such a beautiful sight. I do hope you two are getting along. I smell pancakes. I do hope you two are considering a diet just so I can have them all to myself.
Don't be a pig, Luke. You eat all of those and you might stop fitting into your tight suits.
What? I'm not a pig. You don't think I'm a pig, do you, Marianne?
With this saucy smile and playful wink, I can't help but think you are a bit of a pig, Whiskey.
I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm an interior designer, not a zoologist.
The only stars she must be familiar with are statement of works.
Well, don't be a bore. You two might not be in a rush, but I'm going to go ahead and feast.
If you dawdle too long, he'll hog all the syrup.
Great people are so eccentric.
Come on then, we can discuss business over food.
There is no denying the clients when they invite me over to the table. Though it is too personal to share a meal in their home, it would be terribly rude to deny their invitation. Oh my god, they look delicious. Despite the pancakes did look and smell heavenly. Yeah, well, and that fruit on it too, man. A bowl of clotted cream, fruit, syrups, jams, and other spreads are laid out in front of them, making for a colorful arrangement. If this was a brunch with friends, I would have gladly helped myself to the whole lot. But as it is, I accepted just a few pieces of pancakes and topped off with lemon and sugar.
You know, I was a tiny bit serious when I said I wanted a helipad.
And you're not serious about the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables?
Well, I do want those too, but I know you'll agree to those.
We're talking about interiors, honey. You don't handle exterior designs, and whatever handles those sorts of projects do you, Marianne?
I'm able, actually, and willing to take a project of that nature. I was an architect in Ireland before. Of course, that's another contract entirely. I also suggest we finish the house itself before working on any additions to the rest of the property. There won't be any problems about ownership this time, will there? Pardon if I'm crossing a line, but the acquisition was rather quick.
Oh, don't you worry. We've got everything sorted this time around. I've talked to Miss Cooper and Mr. John from BRC, as well as the old owners. Everything has been paid in full, and all we're waiting for is the paperwork from the land registry. They're letting us move in as soon as we please. It's not like they were living there in the first place.
That's good to hear. The problems that could arise from renovating another person's home would be... well, let's not dwell on it. First off, we'll want to know how you want the place to look. It's pretty furnished as is, but I understand if you want to modernize the whole thing.
Actually, I'd prefer to keep the place looking as it is. But at the same time, I want modern appliances. You worked on the Ludgates Christchurch summer residence. I do remember there being an oven I thought was a simple drawer before. Make them look vintage, antique, blend in with the rest of the decor.
Customize appliances then. I can't find someone for that, and if you can't tell me what you specifically want, it'll hasten up the process. We're talking about electronic appliance manufacturers. If you have a preferred brand to work with.
Splendid! So, what is next on our agenda? All the other interior designers we've hired in the past did not have us this involved.
I stopped. What sort of half-baked designer did that? If I knew who they were, I would have words. This isn't the time or place for it, however. Instead, I used a brief pause to pull out the floor plans and brought with me.
We'll have to figure out what you want to do with the rooms. Here, we can have a quick run-through.
What is that little room next to the master's bedroom?
Oh, as far as I could tell when I saw it, it's a second bedroom of sorts. Used, apparently, for ladies-in-waiting who has served Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. Which is strange, as that isn't the norm for these sorts of houses.
Well, we're not stuffing Johans in there. He won't fit. You don't suppose we could turn it into a walk-in closet and a dressing room?
I love fashion. But do we really need to turn an entire room into a walk-in closet, dear? We'll have large closets and a wardrobe ready.
Says the one who takes 3/5 of our closet. Well, what do you suggest we do with it?
I thought a utility room of some sort would be nice. A craft room where I can do fun things. Or maybe a children's room might be nice. You know, for when Kylie comes over. Or if Rochelle visits once she's had a baby.
1, you are not inviting that witch. And 2, there's a whole mansion for Kylie to play in. We don't need a children's room, and you don't even do arts and crafts. I'd like to turn the guest's room and the study into my personal office, by the way, if you don't mind.
You can turn it into a personal office if I can have my utility room. It's just the one room of the many.
What, Joanna?
I'm taking that
I'm
room
good,
for
how about you?
myself, no matter what you say, dearie. So you might as well take this deal. You're always out doing business anyway. The real problem is the theater. Whatever are we going to do with all that space?
Fine, we could turn it into our own personal cinema, I suppose. Might as well have it, if you plan on not having a telly in the parlor.
Yes, well, I don't want guests to be glued to the telly when they come over for a meal and some tea. By the looks of things, we can keep the rooms as what they are on the ground floor, though. The ballroom would be perfect for parties.
Do we really need a dining hall, though? I don't suppose we can't convert it into a garage.
What for? You can park your cars outside.
What about that room? Right there, in the northeast corner.
That's sleeping quarters for the household help?
Oh, that is perfect! Johans will be glad if we have other staff members who stayed in. It'd be convenient so they don't have to make the trip from Luxspawn to the mansion when they're needed.
You'll definitely need a lot more people to maintain a property of this size.
The mansion is really a lot bigger than I thought. Look at all these rooms. I didn't even know there was a music room next to the parlor because of what happened.
We just stream a community tab. Thank you, I appreciate that. Happy Thursday.
There was a grand piano in there too, when we checked during the tour.
Did you hear that, Luke? Maybe you can take up playing the piano again. Oh, you should have seen him when we were younger, Marianne.
It's not like I was very good with the thing.
Oh, hush you. You were no Mozart, but I loved hearing you play nonetheless. He'd come over to my home and he'd play such fun tunes. He'd sing too and I'd dance and it was just...
Mr. Wright playing the piano, I can't imagine that. But the earnest way in which Mr. Wright says so told
Anyway,
everyone.
what do you think of these plans, Marianne?
I would not even
my
go.
requests.
Okay.
Not even just a closet or just a garage. Now, that isn't fair, is it? You're not the only one who's going to be living here.
I hardly see how that's unfair. I told you you're getting your office and your theater, the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables. That sounds fair, does it not, Marianne?
What do... I don't know. We can compromise. I really wish they didn't look at me like that. This is their decision to make. But if they really want to ask for a professional point of view, I'd be happy to give them my
You can
thoughts.
still have a garage.
See, Marianne agrees with me. Thank you.
But the structural integrity of the mansion might be at risk if we try to turn the dining hall or any of the rooms into a garage. Taking down one of the exterior walls might hit one of the support beams. And with a mansion that old, I'd rather not risk it, especially without closer inspection. There's always compromise, of course.
I suppose that's better than nothing. Better than flat out saying no.
Mrs. Wright does have a point. There's plenty of space for a garage outside of the mansion itself. If you'd like a covered parking space, we can arrange something on the grounds instead.
Then we better go there. I want to see where we can build a garage.
Yes, no time like the present. You want a thorough inspection? Might as well do it now. We actually took another look at the property yesterday, though it was brief. But I'm sure you would want to see it yourself, to spot anything we might have missed.
Not like I have much of a choice, do I? Rather than tuning Emerald Mansion in Der Reich is an awkward affair. Not only am I worried about scuffing the expensive leather seats, I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple spat. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them staring at each other at any time. Nobody is saying anything, up until Mr. Wright tells his valet to turn the damn video off. And for a moment I think that he might start, but instead he just stayed quiet, and so did the rest of us. In the end, the sufferable silence stays. I've never been so glad to see our house. Stepping out of the car and up to the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride. I could finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never failed to make me gaze and wonder every time I see it as well. Mrs. Wright moved towards the front door, keys in hand, and I can already hear her, Mr. Wright plotting.
Right here, Hans. We're going to go in. I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it. Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
Scout the property and circle the perimeter on foot.
Did you message him? God. I don't understand him sometimes. I really don't. Not trying to be mean. What's the point of making plans if you're not gonna, like, per se, like, stick to it?
You do know this is 46 acres of
If
land,
it is changed around, though, he should at least let you know. Like, just say, for example, if I was not playing Downlight 2, which is more, just for example, if I didn't feel it, I would at least let you know. Instead of, like, not saying them, you know what I mean?
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass. Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use. I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating. Go, mush.
Maybe. Someday I'd like to ask how Johannes can even stand tolerate the man. Why doesn't he get quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. Even though I'm a bit put off by our mutual employer, and the only thing that keeps me from bailing is the fact that we've already signed a contract. At least I won't be working with them during the duration of the project. He works with them every day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
Someday, I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, he'll be away from Mr. Wright, if only for a little while. We're able to enter the mansion after a bit of standing out there in the sun. This rich, strange sunlight that is far too alien and rare. There had been a bit of a problem with the missus not knowing which key was which. The first item on the agenda would be the grand staircase. Seemed sturdy during the open house, but a closer inspection might say otherwise. There are no obvious marks of damage nor wear and tear, probably restored during renovations. Peeking under the grand carpet, the wood improperly installed with the bark placed down to prevent cupping. The carpet itself could use a vacuum though. Structural conditions, from what I can see, was still actually dismantling the thing. Looked to be in good shape, and the handrails and support posts are firm. The work on that should be commended. I can't look much more into the rest of the foyer, however, because Mr. Wright starts to hurry us into checking the dining hall.
So, what do you think? Certainly we can't turn this area into a garage.
It's Jacobean architecture. I'd say these would be pilasters and not buttresses, but you never really know.
What's up, Anne? How you doing?
They really liked mixing up these elements. You could say it was pretty avant-garde at the time. We might hit a support beam if we're not careful.
And in layman's terms?
From what I see here, we could risk great damage to the house if we try to turn the dining hall into a garage.
The man didn't look too pleased at this. There was a look of disappointment before he sighed and looks around the place with an air of defeat. I'm good, thanks. How about you? I'm good. Thank you for asking. When he moved to speak, I dreaded another unreasonable demand
This will
again.
stay a dining hall then. But if I may have another request instead, at least spruce the place up with some flowers, some plants or something. It feels so old and dead in here.
That's hardly unreasonable. Daffodils are a must, I presume.
The look that passes between the two of them, there's a genuine look of fondness there. This is the first time I've seen such an exchange between the two of them. If anyone are to see them like this, there is little doubt that they loved each other.
Of course, and I want a garden full of them. Now, if you excuse me, I'd like to look at the rest of the house. I'll just be around here downstairs, if anybody needs me.
That leaves Miss Wright and
He's quite fond of them, you know.
I can imagine. He looked terribly upset when we told him he can't have his garage.
I meant the daffodils. We always have a vase full of them in every house we own. Somewhere, I'd like to think. They may be about his mother. He never talks about her. I don't even know her name. He likes to flatter, claim that they remind him of me, but he's always loved the flowers, even before we married.
Much like the piano, I didn't take him for a person who liked flowers. Daffodils, least of all. What's next? Am I going to find out that Mr. Wright saved kittens from burning buildings?
I'll go and snoop about upstairs. You go and do whatever it is that you have to do.
When she goes without even asking if I needed her here, I'm left standing to stare at the walls. Really, I don't need to do a thorough inspection of the building itself. It isn't really part of an interior designer's job. The architect in me is committed to doing this task as every project. If I'm going to make a living space, they have both form and function. I might as well make sure that the integrity of it is safe for my clients. Since I'm already here, I roam around the dining hall to check things off my punch list, if you will. But when it's time to move on, I hesitate. Mr. Wright said he would be somewhere around here on the ground floor, and I really didn't want to be alone with Whiskey. I had to look through the place eventually, sure. But on the other hand, I can do it later when he's gone. I can go upstairs first if I want to. I'll do the ground floor first. Alright, just because there's one troublesome client shouldn't mean I'll let him get in the way of my work. The parlor is my first destination. Mostly because I figure Mr. Wright is hiding down in the wine cellar making plans there. I'm going to bump into him sooner or later, but I'd rather make it later. Much, much later. The place, upon closer inspection, is in good shape. I don't doubt the place was done with the most care, considering it would be one of the first room suitors. We see during the open house. There was a stain on the carpet, most likely be by one of the guests at the time, but it isn't anything a good cleaning can't get rid of. Next is the music room, or at least that's the plan.
Locked? Oh, come on now.
I rattled the doorknob again harder this time to double check, and even give it a good budge to see if it isn't a problem with the door itself. But no, definitely locked. That is weird considering the rest of the rooms aren't. It could just be this one though. And I tried the other door through the ballroom if I really want to get in. That's when I hear it. The sound of a piano. Though it just plays one note over and over again. It makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand, and I back away from the door. Though I wasn't exactly the superstitious sort, what am I going to do? The room is locked. I can just go back to it later, maybe see if I can go through the ballroom in. The music room door opens, and who else but Luke Wright stands by the doorway. He looks a lot like a cat that ate a canary, and I didn't appreciate the way his eyes linger
Isn't
on
it
me.
common sense the locked doors mean someone wants a bit of privacy? You didn't try and break the door down. Or did you just want to see me again that badly without the missus? I don't see why you would though, Mint. Nothing really happened between us.
Well, I wasn't looking for whiskey. I was just going around to do my inspection. Thought it needed a push, just in case the door was stuck and actually needed repairs.
So you really are some fancy interior designer, huh? Had you told me you were one, I would have called you a piss taker. I figured you'd be, I don't know, an assistant going for a drink after a week with a tosser of a boss.
I'm just glad you thought me any sort of professional with how ossified I was. I must have not looked the part, so I understand your surprise.
He doesn't offer a witty retort, and they grow quiet for a
At first
moment.
glance, Hana didn't look like some fancy finance manager when I first met her either. She was the pretty daughter of this rich, powerful man. When she was introduced, they told me that she was not there as the man's daughter, but as a part of management. I thought it dubious. All the beautiful women I knew before her, they used their looks to get what they want. And there she was, with all that she could ever need in life. And yet she works hard to earn her keep.
It sounds like you admire her.
Here and there. So he wants to play with you and Crawford? Okay. I too can't help but feel admiration
You
for
enjoy
Mrs.
your
Wright.
job, don't you, Mint?
It helps me earn my keep, as you would put it. A bit strange to say out loud, but it gives me purpose as well.
Do you think then that, maybe, Hana would want to go back to being a working person?
Taken aback at the question, I wait for further clarification. What makes him act like this? And why me of all people, right? When I see that no inflation come, I think.
Shouldn't you be asking her this? Isn't her opinion much more important than that of someone you just met in a pub a few nights ago?
You're a woman, and I figured you might know more. I mean, people are always saying that women are fulfilled by having husbands and having a good home.
So culture foods?
But then, I see ones like you who look happy having jobs. Maybe she's like you, and having a job would be better for her.
Just because I'm a woman? You do know we don't all think the same way. But I don't know, I'm not married or anything, but this shouldn't be a complicated matter. She's your wife for how many years? Talk to her. Ask her what she wants. Don't you guys talk during supper or something?
That gets him thinking. Or at least it looks like it does.
Well, I should let you get back to work. Thanks for talking with me, I suppose.
Right. But anything goes awry if you take my advice, just remember that I'm not some marriage counselor. So take it with a grain of salt.
My marriage goes down the shitter, I'll sue you. Noted.
Wait, that's not...
Too late. Takes a step back to the music room, shuts the door and leaves me there looking gobsmacked. He wasn't serious, was he? That man, I don't understand him at all. He's just used ours and then he's this person the
Old
next.
guy. Still needs a good arse kicking if you ask me.
Okay, so forget about going into the music room then. That's fine. He'll have to go out. He'll have to go out there sooner or later. In the meantime, I can go around and check the rest of the house. All my worries fade when I step into the ballroom. And well, the whole place is just grand, isn't it? I can see why the Wrights made sure nobody else would take this place from them. Anyone who has it will certainly be the belle of the ball. It's pretty much one great big status symbol. I don't think I could do much of a thorough inspection in this room, so I note it down for later. Moving on to the kitchens. I check the ventilation and the general fire safety in the kitchen. This bit is important for a place this size. I would of course suggest bringing an actual fire safety inspector over for a more detailed inspection. It wouldn't do to see such beautiful architecture go up in flames after all. I take measurements of the countertops and cabinets, note down what type of wood they use. They wanted some of these recreated to hide modern appliances. There's a loose floorboard in the furthest corner and some of the others had scratches, but everything else seems to be in decent shape. My concentration is broken with someone
You can
knocks.
come in. Door's not locked.
I wait, expecting Miss Wright or the butler to come in, but nobody enters. There's that knocking again. It's louder and more urgent this time, and I'm pretty sure I didn't lock the thing.
All right. I'm coming. Just hold on.
When I moved to open the door, though, I realized something. The knocking isn't coming from the door, but from somewhere else. The trap door? I paused for a second, waiting. The knocking has not ceased. And soon enough it becomes desperate. The dull thuds from before switching to what seems to be scratching. Desperate and instant at once, as if grasping for a respite.
Is somebody stuck down there? Dick!
Where did that come from? How did they even get down there? That put the hurt crossway me it did. I love cats, but they have no business giving people a fright. For a second there, all these ghastly rumors about this place had me flooding back. Now, peering into the darkness of the open trapdoor gets me thinking. And it gets me curious. Seriously though, I should really make sure there aren't any more surprises from down under. Oh god. I don't think the Brights would appreciate it if we find little kittens making a house of the wine cellar. Mr. Bright seems the type to skin a cat if any of her precious wines were to be contaminated. I'm done with the kitchens anyways. Going down a flight of stairs while watching high heels is always a bad idea. Descending into the dirt on the ground only makes it worse. I managed anyhow without any major slip-ups.
These stairs need work, that's for sure.
Surprisingly, the one cellar is in good condition. No water damage from last year's flooding, and apart from the dust and cobwebs that have accumulated, the place will likely hold for several more years. Racks and barrels. Okay. Alright, see ya. Daylight tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Alright, see ya. See ya. London Boss making their spacious room look smaller than it is. I'm no expert, but it looks good enough for immediate use without any further additions. Bloody Whiskey will be having a field day. I think so anyway, until I feel something crunch under my feet. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. The cat's fault, I wager, but it made a downright mess with red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. There's a lot of the stuff for to have just been a few bottles though. A whole trail of it flows from the end of the room, and I follow, fully expecting a leaking barrel or a whole upturned rack. Instead, it just keeps on going and it stops in a public puddle at the very back wall.
What a waste of wine. Why is it so sticky though? Ugh.
It's too sick too, nothing like wine. Of course, it could just be mold.
Maybe it's not wine. Go on, touch it. I dare ya.
Despite it all, I find myself answering, because it's her voice. Amy Lorraine. Lovely Amy. Pretty Amy. I can imagine her standing there with me, laughing and pestering me as I did my word in the way only friends can. She was my friend, the only one that I had at St. Samantha's. I was a schooler, the charity case, in a school for privileged and precocious young girls. They all looked down on me if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. I'll accept her. Sometimes I wish for the good old days when we were friends. Now she's nothing but a ghost, though I try so hard to get over her. I really, really do.
What am I, 5 years old? Oh, damn it, it's stuck under my shoe.
I double dare you. Hell, I double dog dare you. Don't be such a scaredy cat. It's probably wine. What else could it be? Blood?
Don't be ridiculous. Why would there be blood down here?
If I wasn't the joking sort, I would have said it might be the reason why the previous owner sold the house. Maybe the ghost stories are actually true, and they wanted to get away from the wall that dripped of ectoplasm goo and whatever other ghoul was haunted about. Doubt it. I hardly believe in any of that voodoo nonsense as it is. But as I stare at the mess at my feet, proudly looking like a fool while I'm at it, I notice something strange. It isn't visible unless one is really paying attention, but I can see the red gunk seeping through the crack in the walls.
What's this then?
I worry about structural damage and damage to the foundation. I worry about the wine cellar after wrong conditions can lead to the deteriorating of its contents if temperatures and humidity are not controlled. Up until I can see how clean cut the crack is. It runs along the edge of the wall and vertically along it, where a door would be. Pressing my hand against the wall lends proceed to the idea as I try to feel where it would give way.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look. This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
Matt Like B, what's up? How you doing, Kayla? There's a hidden room here. That would certainly explain the descriptions in the mansion's floor plans. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that there could be hidden rooms and passages all over the house if we're to follow that logic. And boy, isn't that exciting? This feels like something straight out of a game. Suddenly, she touches my arm and I flinch away in shock. That shouldn't be possible. I understand authority hallucinations, maybe even visual hallucinations. But that was...
You look surprised. What's wrong?
You? That's not possible. You're...
dead.
Aren't you happy to see a dear old friend, though? I'm hurt, I am.
Meet the ghosts from your past.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, isn't it obvious? I come back for you, so that we can be together again.
When she touches me once more, I recoil. What does she mean together again? She's dead.
No! Leave me alone!
Leave you alone? But I just got here.
Turn around and meet with the Wright's butler, who looks at me with an indifferent look. And when I look back, Lorraine is gone.
I wasn't talking to you, just thinking aloud is all.
You should really avoid talking to yourself, Kint. Do more of that and others will think you're insane.
Yes, thank you. Is that all you're here for, or has your master sent you running down here for something?
Oh, no, I am just down here to admire the place. I've not been inside before. I thought I would look around before we return to the city. The car is already running, you see, and I suggest you go back to the foyer, unless you wish to be left behind. It seems you are in good company already, after all, with this house and your imaginary friend.
Wait, we're leaving already? But I haven't finished inspecting the rest of the house.
Be that as it may, there's a sulking man-child up there who wishes to go home. We are all subject to his whims, lest he throw...
Can't help but smile at that. He's a strange guy. Still can't imagine how he can work for a guy like Luke Wright, though. Imagine the blonde Earth ain't an easy guy to get along with. Smack the like, boo. Thank you so much. Whatever the butler was having to tolerate that, I want 10
And
of
we
it.
wouldn't want any soiled knickers or spilled milk. Why don't you go head on and I'll be right there.
Very well. Do be careful on your way back. I saw some broken glass on the way and it would not do to cut yourself on them.
I will, yeah. Just tell Mr. Wright not to blow a gasket or anything. I'll be just a minute.
Speaking of blowing gaskets, there's something else dangerous here. Whatever's behind that door, it could pose some problems. Best case scenario, it's only ruined good stocks of wine, but who knows what's behind that false wall. I'll have to come back to it. It's already dark if we make our way out of the mansion. God, it looks worse at night time. With no lights, we are only illuminated by the headlamps of the Wright's car and the stars out above us. The slight dim helped me compose myself, much more than several minutes of being alone did. The car's engine is running, yet the two still stand out on the lawn. Mrs. Wright is busy, eyes up to the stars. And Mr. Wright, arms crossed, has his eyes down on the ground. It is the crunch of the grass under my heels that brings their attention to me.
About time. What took you so long? A minute longer and I'd think the house swallowed you all up.
Oh, hush, dear. I'm sure she has her reasons. Marianne doesn't seem the sort to idle.
Sorry, I was just checking on something important.
See, business is business and they take time, love. You should know that better than anyone. So, Marianne, what do you think? Are you the woman for the job? I know we already signed papers hiring you, but I want to be 100% sure that you are committed.
Glanced back towards the mansion, knowing what I had seen there. The curious thing in the wine cellar, which is stuff I'd only read about from effing horror stories. And her. I should feel the slightest bit hesitant. I was lucky. I've seen enough film to know what happens when a promiscuous woman enters a haunted house. This is my chance to turn it down, make excuses, say that I'm not up to the task, that I need to take care of my old sick father. Just pay the fine, which is probably outrageous for a contract like this, and let it go. I should turn it down, but for some of the reason I can't in the same manner. I'll have let go of her, of the regret that has shadowed me since that day. Much as I hate to admit it, even to myself, seeing her again, the mischievous glint in her eyes, the lost tendrils of her hair curls around her forehead. It's something I've terribly missed. Now that it's here, almost within arm's reach. My father would tell me sometimes, you just simply have to go through it, consequences be damned. And while I really don't have any logical reason to say no, at least not something a client like the Wrights would want to hear from a professional designer.
It's certainly an interesting project. You can be sure I'm seeing it through the end.
Such dedication! Oh, I do love the determination.
You were always determined like that, weren't you?
Hearing her voice once again sends a chill running down my neck. I can't wait for this day to be over. From the mansion through Anselm, I rode with them in silence. But as soon as we hit city proper, I asked to be dropped off and bid them good night. I thought it'd be best if I didn't stay too long in confined spaces with either Mrs. or Mr. Wright. But soon it caused me serious trouble in. If the project has been any less interesting or grand, I would have dropped it without a second thought. Would have, shouldn't have, won't. I assume then that my place isn't that far off, and I have to fight off the urge to roll my eyes and groan, which drove me a little smirk. But even my own house, peace is exclusive as is sleep. I lie awake thinking of what I saw in that mansion, of who I saw. If I so much as hear a single whisper from her, if I so much as see a wisp of her hair, I'm afraid I'll go mad. But none of that happens. It makes me feel hollow. For 2 nights I've had trouble sleeping, but it's only one morning when fatigue has already let me rest that I'm reminded of what terrifies me so. In my restless dreams I see that mirror, the one in the study, and then I see her. I see them. Lorraine and Hannah. What the fuck? Hannah and Lorraine.
Oh, pathetic Marianne. Work, work, work. She'll work herself to death.
See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did. Look at what happened to me.
They talk among themselves with curled smiles and venomous tongues, or rather to themselves 2 heads, 1 body. A horrible mockery of these women as if they were the one and the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out and she doesn't even see it.
Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
When they say a person has a hard time telling when they're in a dream, it was true often enough. Even with this bizarre sight, even with the obvious implication that this isn't real, I can't help but feel distressed.
Likely. Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead.
Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
Though they speak into each other's ears, tones low and hushed, I can still hear them as clear as day. The whispers pervade the air, heavy and oppressive. They bury and dig into my head like tiny maggots, forming their way into my skull. It is only then that they take notice of my presence. I turn towards me and I can only feel a smile under their scrutiny. Caricature smiles etched on their faces, mimicking each other's.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Have you been looking at us? Spying? How scandalous. Such a naughty girl.
I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you?
You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself.
Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
My breath hitches and I open my mouth to protest, but they stop me screeching. The mirror that holds them cracks, lines sputtering across the surface.
Do not lie! We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt. You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell. You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
They look livid, and when it looks like they would lunge. I wake, feeling like the wind has been knocked out of me. So I groan and squint. I find a certain flesh ball sitting on my chest, looking at pleasing punch. She is the overlady of the cats, queen of the fear and destruction of nice furniture. Though I can't stay mad at Her Majesty because it looks like she did something good this time. I was having a nightmare, but I can't even remember what it was about. Trying to recall leaves a terrible pit in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember.
Good morning, Baruthiel. Who's the good kitty? Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
That's an purring come from my sweet dear before she jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. I might stop the stream here, y'all. I'll talk to you guys later. As always, stay safe and take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.